The hidden costs of overgiving: a journey towards true independence. Imagine a retirement where the freedom you've so earnestly worked for becomes entangled with hidden responsibilities and unexpected consequences. Picture a future where, in your earnest attempts to support your children, you inadvertently curtail their ability to stand on their own. This is not a call to withdraw love or care, but rather a guide to ensuring that your legacy empowers them instead of binding them to your past. In today's discussion, we embark on a transformative journey inspired by Buddhist wisdom, a journey that challenges the conventional mindset of giving at retirement. We will uncover 8 critical aspects that, if handed over without reflection, may hinder the growth and independence of the next generation. Drawing from ancient insights and modern personal experience, this narrative offers a balanced perspective on the interplay between self-care and parental support. It is a call to re-examine how we define love, responsibility, and independence as we age. Whether you are approaching retirement or already immersed in its reality, this message is for you. The choices you make today can profoundly shape not only your future but also that of your children. Let's begin this reflective journey with open hearts and clear minds. Introduction: the Buddhist perspective on balance, autonomy, and family wisdom. Retirement often symbolizes a period of rest, reflection, and the freedom to pursue passions that were sidelined during our working years. However, this stage of life also brings a crucial question. How do we balance our newfound independence with our responsibilities toward the next generation? Buddhist philosophy offers a unique perspective, one that emphasizes balance, mindful living, and the wisdom of letting go. Rather than simply surrendering all our accumulated resources, time, and emotional energy, Buddhist teachings encourage us to act with deliberate care, ensuring that our actions foster growth rather than dependency. At the heart of this philosophy lies a profound understanding. The true essence of love is not merely in the act of giving, but in the wisdom of nurturing independence. By examining 8 specific things that should not be unconditionally handed over to our children in our later years, we learn to cultivate an environment where both parent and child can flourish. These 8 areas: unconditional approval, home, immediate solutions, personal identity, financial control, emotional energy, the weight of past experiences, and control of our own lives, each represent a fundamental aspect of our being. When managed with mindfulness, they allow us to embrace our own journey and empower our children to forge their unique paths. This guide is not a list of prohibitions but an invitation to reflect on the subtle art of parenting in later life. It asks us to consider, how can we, as seasoned guides and mentors, offer wisdom without overstepping boundaries? How do we balance our innate desire to protect with the necessity of letting go? The lessons drawn from Buddhist wisdom serve as a gentle reminder that our role as parents is to lead by example, teaching resilience, self-reliance, and the value of personal growth. 1. Unconditional approval, nurturing growth through constructive validation. One of the most cherished aspects of any parent-child relationship is unconditional love. However, when we extend unconditional approval in every circumstance, we risk depriving our children of a critical component of personal development: the opportunity to learn from mistakes and cultivate self-discipline. The pitfalls of automatic approval. Unconditional approval, in its most literal sense, can sometimes become a double-edged sword. When a child is habitually met with praise for every action, they may come to expect effortless success without the need to work through the challenges inherent in personal growth. This lack of challenge can inadvertently stunt their ability to develop resilience, critical thinking, and the capacity for self-evaluation. Consider a scenario where a child makes a poor decision or faces a setback. If your instinct is to immediately affirm them regardless of the consequences, you may remove the natural impetus to reflect on what went wrong and how to improve. In the long run, this habit might inhibit the development of an internal moral compass, a sense of accountability that is essential for mature decision-making. Buddhist wisdom on constructive critique. Buddhism teaches that every experience, whether positive or negative, is an opportunity for growth. The concept of right action is intertwined with learning from the consequences of one's actions. When parents withhold automatic approval and instead offer thoughtful, constructive feedback, they invite their children into a process of self-discovery. This approach does not diminish love. Rather, it transforms it into a powerful educational tool. Through mindful engagement, you encourage your children to understand that approval is something earned through responsible and reflective behavior. The balance of love and discipline is not about withholding affection, it is about teaching that every decision has consequences, and every mistake is a stepping stone to greater wisdom. Personal reflections on conditional approval. In my own life, I have witnessed the transformative power of conditional approval. I recall a time when I was tempted to immediately comfort a young family member after a significant mistake. However, after a moment of reflection influenced by Buddhist teachings, I chose to engage in a conversation about what had occurred, inviting them to consider alternative actions and outcomes. This approach led to a deeper understanding and an enduring lesson in accountability. My experience taught me that love, when paired with honest feedback, can be far more liberating than unconditional praise. It is a lesson in balancing support with the encouragement of independence, a lesson that resonates deeply in the context of retirement, where our role as parental figures must evolve to meet the changing needs of both ourselves and our children. Actionable lessons on approval. Reflect before responding. Instead of offering immediate praise, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Ask yourself if the response will encourage thoughtful behavior or simply provide a temporary comfort. Encourage self-assessment. Invite your children to assess their actions and consider what they might do differently in the future. Balance love and accountability. Ensure that your love is seen not as a blanket of approval but as a foundation on which they can build resilience and self-reliance. By nurturing a mindset where approval is earned through thoughtful reflection and responsibility, you empower your children to grow into self-assured, independent individuals capable of navigating life's challenges with wisdom and grace. 2. The home. Securing your sanctuary and preserving emotional independence. Our homes are far more than physical structures, they are sanctuaries that provide safety, stability, and emotional grounding. Yet, in our desire to support our children, we may inadvertently jeopardize this haven by relinquishing control over it. The decision to hand over your home can have far-reaching consequences, not only for your financial security but also for your emotional well-being and autonomy. Understanding the symbolic value of home. In many cultures, the home symbolizes more than just a place to live. It represents security, tradition, and the continuity of personal history. For those of us approaching or already in retirement, the home is a reservoir of memories, values, and experiences. It is a tangible connection to the past, a space where we have built our lives and nurtured our dreams. When you decide to give your home to your children, you are not just transferring a property, you are shifting a cornerstone of your identity and stability. While this gesture may seem generous and even necessary, especially in times of financial need or familial transition, it is important to weigh the long-term implications. By retaining control over your home, you ensure that you maintain a sanctuary that can evolve with you, offering flexibility and security as circumstances change. The perils of losing a personal haven. Relinquishing the home might seem like a natural extension of parental love, but it can lead to a state of vulnerability. As time passes, unforeseen changes, whether financial, relational, or health-related, may arise. If your home is no longer in your control, you may find yourself in a precarious position, lacking the security and autonomy you once enjoyed. Moreover, the emotional attachment to one's home is profound. It is a space where you have lived, loved, and evolved. Letting go of that control can feel like a loss of identity, a surrender of the space where you have found solace. This loss can, in turn, impact your overall mental and emotional well-being, creating a ripple effect that diminishes your sense of self-worth and independence. Buddhist insight into material detachment. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of detachment from material possessions, not to renounce them entirely, but to understand that they are transient. However, detachment does not mean carelessness. It suggests that we should cherish our possessions while maintaining a sense of independence from them. In the context of your home, this means treating it as a treasured asset that supports your lifestyle without defining your entire existence. By retaining control over your home, you are not acting out of greed or selfishness. Rather, you are safeguarding your future. It is a way of ensuring that your personal sanctuary remains a place of comfort and stability, even as life's circumstances evolve. This decision, steeped in the wisdom of balanced living, reinforces the idea that true independence comes from maintaining control over the things that matter most to us. Personal reflections on home and security. In reflecting on the role of the home in our lives, I have come to appreciate it as both a physical space and a metaphor for our inner sanctum. I recall a time when a close friend faced the dilemma of giving up her family home to assist her children. While her intentions were pure, the eventual outcome left her feeling unmoored and vulnerable, a cautionary tale of generosity that compromised her own security. This experience underscored the importance of preserving a space where we can continue to nurture our personal growth, even as we extend support to our loved ones. Actionable lessons on home and independence. Assess long-term implications. Before deciding to transfer ownership of your home, consider your future needs and the potential for changing circumstances. Maintain a personal sanctuary. Ensure that you have a dedicated space where you can retreat, reflect, and rejuvenate, a place that remains entirely your own. Seek balanced solutions. If the need arises to share your home or its benefits with your children, explore options that allow you to retain a degree of control and security. This might include rental arrangements or partial transfers that safeguard your independence. By keeping your home as a sanctuary and a symbol of your autonomy, you reinforce the importance of personal security and emotional independence. This decision, rooted in both practical wisdom and deep emotional insight, ultimately contributes to a more balanced and fulfilling life in retirement. 3. Immediate solutions. Cultivating problem-solving skills over dependency. In our instinct to shield our children from adversity, we often find ourselves rushing to provide immediate solutions to every challenge they face. While this approach stems from a place of love and protection, it may inadvertently hinder their ability to develop critical problem-solving skills and resilience. The hidden costs of instant gratification. When a parent steps in to immediately resolve every obstacle, the child is deprived of the opportunity to experience and learn from the natural consequences of their actions. This tendency to intervene can create a dependency loop, where the child comes to rely on external solutions rather than cultivating their own abilities to navigate life's challenges. Imagine a scenario in which a young adult faces a setback, a missed job opportunity, a failed project, or a personal disagreement. If the parent intervenes with a ready-made solution, the child may never learn to grapple with the discomfort of failure or the process of finding their own solutions. This, in turn, can limit their growth and reduce their self-confidence over time. Buddhist teachings on embracing challenges. Buddhist philosophy encourages us to view challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. Each difficulty encountered is not a sign of failure, but rather a chance to refine one's judgment and develop inner strength. By allowing our children to face challenges head-on, we equip them with the tools they need to thrive in a complex world. This approach is not about abandoning your children to hardship. Instead, it is about guiding them to recognize that the path to wisdom is paved with challenges. By stepping back and offering supportive guidance rather than immediate solutions, you help them internalize the idea that every obstacle is a stepping stone toward personal development. Personal reflections on empowering self-reliance. I recall a period in my own life when I was inclined to offer quick fixes to every problem I encountered in the lives of those I cared about. Over time, I learned that true support comes from encouraging others to think critically and devise their own strategies. One particular instance stands out. A friend faced a challenging work situation, and instead of immediately offering my advice, I encouraged her to analyze the situation herself. The result was not only a solution to her immediate problem but also a boost in her confidence and problem-solving skills that lasted well beyond that moment. This personal transformation underscored a key lesson. By resisting the urge to provide immediate answers, we invite a deeper learning process, one that fosters resilience and self-reliance. Actionable lessons on problem-solving independence. Encourage reflection. When your children encounter a challenge, ask guiding questions that prompt them to think through the situation rather than offering a direct solution. Celebrate efforts. Acknowledge the process of problem-solving even if the initial attempt is imperfect. Celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. Create a supportive environment. Ensure that your children know you are available for guidance while emphasizing the importance of independent thinking. Model resilience. Share your own experiences of overcoming challenges, highlighting the lessons learned along the way. By cultivating an environment where challenges are met with thoughtful reflection and self-generated solutions, you not only build your children's confidence but also reinforce the timeless Buddhist principle that true wisdom arises from within. 4. Preserving your identity, the vital importance of self-discovery in later life. One of the most profound lessons of Buddhist wisdom is the importance of maintaining a clear and distinct sense of self. Over the course of our lives, especially in our roles as parents, we often become so immersed in nurturing others that we inadvertently lose sight of our own identity. As we approach or enter retirement, preserving and cultivating our personal identity becomes even more essential. The risk of losing yourself in parental roles. For many parents, identity is intricately linked to the role they play in their children's lives. While this role is both honorable and essential, it can also become all-consuming. If we allow our sense of self to be defined solely by our responsibilities as caregivers, we risk neglecting the passions, values, and experiences that make us who we are. This loss of identity can lead to feelings of emptiness and a diminished capacity for personal fulfillment. Retirement is an opportune time to rediscover and reassert your individuality. It is a period when you can reflect on the many dimensions of your personality, your dreams, your interests, and your unique perspective on life. By nurturing your own identity, you not only enrich your own life but also serve as a powerful example for your children, demonstrating that self-realization is a lifelong journey. Buddhist insights on self-realization. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that self-realization is a continuous process of reflection, growth, and letting go of attachments. In the context of identity, this means recognizing that while our roles may evolve over time, our inner essence remains constant. Embracing this wisdom allows us to approach retirement not as an ending, but as a new beginning, a chance to cultivate the aspects of our identity that may have been set aside in the bustle of daily responsibilities. Maintaining a strong sense of self is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of preservation. When you invest in your own growth, you also invest in the future of your family. A parent who remains true to themselves is better equipped to offer balanced, insightful guidance, a testament to the power of living authentically. Personal reflections on identity and fulfillment. I have witnessed firsthand the transformative impact of reclaiming one's identity in later life. In moments when I felt overwhelmed by familial responsibilities, I discovered that dedicating time to personal passions, whether it was reading, writing, or meditating, brought a renewed sense of clarity and joy. These moments of self-reflection not only enriched my own life but also allowed me to engage more deeply with my loved ones, offering them the gift of a balanced and fulfilled presence. Actionable lessons on preserving identity. Prioritize personal passions. Dedicate time each day or week to activities that nurture your interests and remind you of who you are beyond your parental role. Reflect on your journey. Regularly revisit your personal goals, values, and experiences. Journaling or meditation can be powerful tools in this reflective process. Celebrate your individuality. Embrace the uniqueness of your life journey. Share your passions and experiences with your children as an example of the importance of maintaining one's identity. Balance caregiving with self-care. Remember that by taking care of yourself, you are better positioned to care for others. Your personal growth directly contributes to the well-being of your family. By preserving your identity and investing in self-discovery, you not only ensure a richer, more fulfilling retirement but also serve as a beacon of inspiration for your children, showing them that a life well lived is one that honors both family and self. 5. Financial independence. Retaining control of your resources and future. As we transition into retirement, financial stability and independence become central pillars of our well-being. Yet, it is not uncommon for parents to delegate the control of their finances to their children, often under the guise of assistance or trust. While the intention may be to ease the burden of financial management, relinquishing control over your finances can have unforeseen consequences. The risks of surrendering financial autonomy. Our finances represent more than just money. They are the foundation of our security, our ability to plan for the future, and our means to maintain independence. Handing over control of these resources can lead to vulnerabilities, particularly if those managing them lack the necessary experience or share different values regarding money management. The act of transferring financial control, if not handled carefully, may also foster a sense of dependency in your children. Instead of encouraging them to learn prudent money management and decision-making, you risk setting a precedent where financial security becomes a handed-down asset rather than a skill to be developed. Moreover, unforeseen circumstances such as economic shifts or personal emergencies may catch both you and your children unprepared if the necessary safeguards are not in place. Buddhist philosophy and the value of self-reliance. Buddhist teachings advocate for mindfulness in all areas of life, including financial matters. Self-reliance is a recurring theme, emphasizing the importance of making decisions that reflect our personal values and long-term goals. By maintaining direct control over your finances, you are not only safeguarding your economic future but also affirming your ability to navigate life's uncertainties independently. This approach is not about isolating your children from financial responsibilities but about empowering them gradually, ensuring that they acquire the skills needed to manage their own resources. Retaining control allows you to model financial prudence, demonstrating that true security comes from informed decision-making rather than blind trust. Personal reflections on financial control. Throughout my own journey, I have witnessed the benefits of retaining financial autonomy. There was a time when I felt compelled to share every aspect of my finances with my children, believing that this openness was an act of trust. However, over time, I realized that by keeping a measure of control, I was better positioned to safeguard my future and, by extension, serve as a positive example of responsible money management. This personal evolution has taught me that financial independence is a cornerstone of overall freedom and well-being. Actionable lessons on financial independence. Retain a degree of control. Even if you decide to share some financial responsibilities, ensure that you maintain ultimate authority over major decisions. Educate and empower. Gradually introduce your children to the principles of financial management through education and guided practice, rather than full control. Plan for the future. Work with financial professionals to develop a robust plan that safeguards your assets while providing a framework for future growth. Monitor and adjust. Regularly review your financial arrangements to ensure they continue to align with your values and long-term goals. By retaining control over your finances, you not only secure your future but also empower your children to learn the art of responsible money management, an invaluable skill that will serve them well throughout their lives. 6. Guarding your emotional energy, prioritizing self-care in a world of constant demands. As we age, our capacity to manage emotional stress can diminish. It becomes imperative to safeguard our emotional energy, ensuring that we are not drained by the challenges and problems of those around us, especially our children. In our deep-seated desire to help, we sometimes become entangled in their emotional burdens, risking our own mental and physical well-being. The impact of emotional drainage. Imagine the cumulative effect of consistently absorbing the anxieties, conflicts, and emotional turbulence of others. Over time, this can lead to burnout, reducing your ability to care for yourself and, paradoxically, diminishing the quality of support you can provide to your loved ones. When you devote too much of your emotional energy to solving others' problems, you may find yourself depleted, unable to recharge or pursue activities that replenish your spirit. Buddhist wisdom on emotional balance. Central to Buddhist philosophy is the practice of mindfulness and the cultivation of inner peace. By setting clear boundaries and focusing on our own well-being, we create space for emotional renewal. Buddhist teachings remind us that we cannot pour from an empty cup. In other words, by taking care of your emotional needs, you enhance your capacity to support others effectively. This lesson is especially important in the context of retirement. It is a time when the focus should shift toward self-care and personal rejuvenation. Rather than becoming entangled in the everyday stresses of your children's lives, it is essential to reserve your emotional energy for moments of true connection and meaningful engagement. Personal reflections on emotional self-care. I vividly remember a period when I would constantly worry about every challenge my children faced. The result was a gradual erosion of my own well-being, a stark reminder that emotional burnout benefits no one. Through meditation, setting healthy boundaries, and dedicating time for self-reflection, I learned to balance my desire to help with the necessity of self-care. This journey taught me that preserving your emotional energy is not only an act of self-respect but also an investment in the quality of your relationships. Actionable lessons on preserving emotional energy. Set clear boundaries. Define the limits of your involvement in your children's challenges, ensuring that you do not overextend yourself. Prioritize self-care. Regularly engage in activities that recharge your emotional batteries, be it meditation, hobbies, or quiet reflection. Practice mindfulness. Use mindfulness techniques to remain present and manage stress effectively, reducing the risk of emotional exhaustion. Communicate openly. Express your boundaries and needs to your family, fostering a culture of mutual respect and understanding. By protecting your emotional energy, you create a sustainable foundation for your own well-being, which in turn enhances the quality of the support you offer to your children. It is a commitment to living fully and mindfully, a principle that resonates deeply with Buddhist teachings. 7. The weight of your past experiences, teaching through wisdom, not burden. Every life is a tapestry woven with triumphs and failures, joys and sorrows. As parents, we naturally want to impart the wisdom gleaned from our own experiences to help our children avoid pitfalls. However, there is a subtle danger in imposing the full weight of our past, our fears, regrets, and even our successes onto the shoulders of the next generation. When the past becomes a burden, sharing life lessons is invaluable, but it is essential to recognize the difference between offering guidance and overwhelming someone with the weight of your own history. When we force our experiences upon our children, we risk limiting their ability to form their own identities and learn from their unique challenges. The lessons of our past should serve as gentle guides, not as prescriptions for every decision they make. Imagine the pressure of carrying not only your own dreams and failures but also the expectations born out of years of personal struggle. This can stifle creativity, independence, and the natural process of growth. Instead of becoming a repository of burdens, your past should be transformed into a reservoir of wisdom that informs and empowers, without dictating every step your children take. Buddhist perspective on letting go. Buddhism teaches us the art of detachment, not by dismissing our experiences, but by transforming them into insights that guide rather than constrain. By letting go of the need to impose your own narrative on your children, you allow them the freedom to explore, experiment, and ultimately discover their own path. Your experiences, when shared with humility and openness, become valuable lessons rather than insurmountable burdens. Personal reflections on the weight of experience. I have often found myself tempted to shield my children from the hardships I endured, hoping to spare them from similar pain. However, I learned that the true gift was not in sheltering them from reality but in equipping them with the tools to navigate it. By sharing my experiences with empathy and nuance, emphasizing the lessons learned rather than the pain endured, I discovered that I was not burdening them but rather opening a doorway to resilience and self-awareness. Actionable lessons on sharing the past wisely. Offer lessons, not directives. Frame your experiences as insights rather than mandates. Encourage your children to learn from your journey without feeling obligated to replicate it. Emphasize flexibility. Remind your children that every generation faces its own challenges. The lessons of the past are a resource, not a rulebook. Balance vulnerability with guidance. Be open about your experiences, but also encourage your children to seek their own truth, recognizing that your journey is uniquely yours. Cultivate a growth mindset. Teach that mistakes and setbacks are part of the learning process, and that each experience is an opportunity for growth. By sharing the weight of your past in a balanced and thoughtful way, you empower your children to learn from your wisdom while forging their own identities. This delicate balance is a testament to the depth of parental love and the commitment to fostering true independence. 8. Retaining control of your life. Embracing autonomy in every decision. As the final pillar of our discussion, we confront the temptation to surrender control over our own lives to our children. Whether it is in the form of deferring decisions or entrusting every aspect of daily living to them, relinquishing control can lead to a gradual erosion of autonomy, dignity, and self-worth. The danger of complete dependence. In the twilight years of our lives, the natural inclination might be to rely on the younger generation to manage life's details. While it is natural to seek support, completely abdicating your decision-making authority can have detrimental effects. This loss of control not only diminishes your sense of self but also disrupts the delicate balance of a mutually respectful relationship with your children. Buddhist wisdom on self-mastery. At its core, Buddhism teaches the value of self-mastery, a profound understanding that the journey of life is ultimately one of personal responsibility and mindful decision-making. Maintaining control over your life is a declaration that, regardless of age, you remain the protagonist in your own story. This autonomy is essential not only for your well-being but also as a living example for your children. It demonstrates that wisdom and independence are virtues that endure, even in later life. Personal reflections on autonomy and control. I have observed that relinquishing too much control over one's life often leads to a sense of stagnation and disempowerment. In my own experience, there were moments when I was tempted to let others make decisions for me, believing it would ease the burden of daily responsibilities. However, each time I reclaimed my autonomy, even in small decisions, I found renewed strength, purpose, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. This personal journey has affirmed that maintaining control over your life is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step toward living authentically and fully. Actionable lessons on maintaining control. Stay involved. Continue to make decisions that align with your values and desires, even if it means sometimes saying no to well-meaning suggestions. Respect your own wisdom. Trust the experiences and insights that have shaped your life. Your perspective is invaluable and worth preserving. Balance assistance with autonomy. While it is beneficial to accept help when needed, ensure that you remain the final arbiter in decisions that affect your life. Embrace lifelong learning. Recognize that control over your life includes the freedom to evolve. Stay curious, challenge your assumptions, and never stop learning about yourself. By retaining control over your life, you affirm your dignity and reinforce the idea that true independence is a state of mind as much as it is a set of circumstances. It is a powerful statement that, even in retirement, you continue to shape your destiny. Bringing it all together, a legacy of wisdom, balance, and empowerment. Throughout this exploration, we have delved into 8 essential areas where, according to Buddhist wisdom, we must exercise caution when giving to our children in our later years. Each point: unconditional approval, the home, immediate problem-solving, personal identity, financial control, emotional energy, the weight of past experiences, and maintaining control of one's life represents a cornerstone of independence and self-reliance. These lessons are not directives to withdraw love or support. Rather, they are invitations to engage with life more mindfully, to cultivate resilience, and to build relationships founded on mutual respect and empowerment. The insights shared here remind us that true parenting does not end when children grow up. Instead, it evolves into a sophisticated dance of guidance and freedom, a process in which our role is to empower the next generation to stand on its own while continuing to nurture our own well-being. In retirement, the challenge lies in balancing our natural desire to help with the need to preserve our independence. Buddhist wisdom provides us with the tools to navigate this delicate balance. By embracing the lessons of the past without being burdened by them, by making decisions that reflect our true values, and by fostering a culture of self-reliance in our families, we can create a legacy that endures. Reflect on these teachings as you consider your own journey. Ask yourself, how can I best support my children without compromising their independence? How can I maintain my own identity and dignity as I enter this new phase of life? The answers lie in a careful, mindful approach to life, one that honors the past, celebrates the present, and empowers the future. As we reach the end of this transformative exploration, remember that the decisions you make today are the foundation of a future built on wisdom, balance, and genuine independence. Embrace the journey of retirement not as a time to relinquish control or diminish your role, but as an opportunity to redefine what it means to be a parent, a mentor, and a self-empowered individual. I invite you to take these teachings to heart. Reflect on the ways in which unconditional approval, the home, immediate problem-solving, personal identity, financial control, emotional energy, the weight of past experiences, and the control of your life shape your everyday decisions. Consider how each element can be managed with mindfulness, so that both you and your children can flourish independently. If this exploration has resonated with you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe for more content on personal growth, mindfulness, and the wisdom that guides us through every stage of life. Your engagement not only supports this channel but also helps to spread a message of empowerment and balance in our ever-changing world. Step forward with the confidence that comes from living mindfully and nurturing independence for yourself and for the generations to come. Your journey towards a fulfilling, autonomous life is a gift, and every wise decision you make today plants the seeds for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and may your path be filled with peace, wisdom, and the joy of true independence.